Setting up actual budget was easy. Now, let's make achieving your financial goals even easier. This video will guide you through simple yet effective strategies to budget, save, and invest, all within the user-friendly actual budget interface. Hi, this is Johnny from TechZen. In this video, we will cover the basic aspects of using actual budget. Let's get started with the overview. Setting up accounts. Setting up budget categories. Assigning available funds. Keep budgeting. It is recommended to not pull in transactions from more than a month or two prior to your start date. The reason for this is that those old transactions will need to be budgeted or your budget will be out of whack. Usually, the most effective time frame is to start at the beginning of the month you are currently in. Start your account by finding the balance in each account at the date you want to start. Set that amount as the balance when creating the account. If your starting date is before the current date, edit the date on the starting balance transaction to the preferred date. Once your account has the proper starting balance, add all the transactions between your start date and today. You can enter transactions manually via file import or via Bank Sync to pull in transactions. For Bank Sync, Actual has built-in support for Go Cardless, which works for most EU, UK banks, and Simplifin for USE Canadian banks. An optional step after you have created your accounts and added your transactions is to reconcile the account. Reconciling your accounts is something you should get in the habit of doing regularly. This confirms that your accounts are accurate compared to what your bank says happened in your account. If you manually add transactions, this is especially important. Now that your accounts are set up and your current balance is accurate, you can start adding budget categories. While making these categories, remember that all money entering or leaving your budget needs a category. By default, Actual will start you off with a few basic expense categories. If you aren't sure what categories you need, Actual will start you with a few basic ones. When creating your categories, don't just think of your bills. Think of your goals too. The categories aren't just a name of an expense, it is a bucket that will hold your money. That bucket can be assigned to both normal expenses, like bill and groceries, and to savings goals like a down payment on a house or a vacation to Bali. If you have an investment account that you contribute to, make a category for that. You also have the ability to make multiple income categories. Maybe you have multiple income streams. Make a category for each one. You may also want a category for interest and dividends. The big question everybody struggles with when using the envelope budgeting method for the first time is how much money to assign to each category. Fear not. This part of our Starting Fresh guide will help you with this. The best way of bootstrapping your budget is to rely on how you have spent your money and what income you have had in the last 3 months. It's even better if you can do this for the last 6 or 12 months. If you use cash for your daily spending, the available funds in those categories will be challenging to assess. You can get some ideas on how much by looking at cash withdrawals on your bank statements. For bills, your bank or credit card statements are good sources to establish your budget numbers. Now that you've set your accounts, categories, and budget values, it's time for the fun part of budgeting. Actual uses a style of budgeting called zero-sum budgeting, or the more common name envelope budgeting. Shortly, this method goes like this. Allocate all available funds into your categories whenever you get income. track your spending in each category. Every time a new transaction is entered into actual, either manually or by importing from your bank statements, your process should look something like this. Give that transaction a category. If you have enough money budgeted for that category, you're done. If you didn't have enough, you need to decide what to do. Move money from a different category. Change the category of the transaction. Analyze spending habits. Adjust and adapt your budget as time goes by. If you feel a bit overwhelmed, don't worry. Getting started with budgeting is confusing, especially if you are new to zero-sum budgeting. It is a strict but powerful way to handle personal finance. I hope this video helps you on board using actual budget for your financial freedom. See you next time.